Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard here this afternoon. Game 3 going into Game 4 in a couple of days for the Edmonton Oilers. Down 2-1 in the series and looking to rebound from what was I don't think anyone's got a good word to say about that performance in Game 3. So we'll discuss that more here in a matter of moments. But friends, again, if you are new to the channel or returning and haven't done so yet, consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. I know the playoff coverage hasn't quite looked like it does the previous few years on the channel. But again, there are circumstances that dictate otherwise. So what we get to here for the Oilers is, like I said, a performance that nobody's all too proud of. Nobody's really talking or writing home about that one. And for the Oilers, what you hope is that the lessons not learned after game 2 are learned after game 3, and you kind of come in there and get the job done in game number 4. What I will state immediately is 100% Stuart Skinner will be starting game number 4, and that is not. No coach has said this, no GM, no team owner, nobody said that officially, but come on, you are not going to be changing away from Stuart Skinner just because of the game 3 performance. When you need a big game in game 4, and you look at what Skinner's done all playoffs long at game 4s in these playoffs, but also in his career, what is it, like just insane numbers, top 5, top 3, top 1 all time goaltender in the NHL playoffs in game 4s. So Stuart Skinner, that's his recipe for success. That gets us back home with a split series and a best of 3 with 2 games on home ice. I like those odds. I don't know about you. Again, I'm not a sports betting guy, but I do like those odds. If I had to take them, I'd be taking them for the Oilers, considering our mantra coming out of the playoffs last year was that would have game 7 been on home ice for the Oilers, we would have won the cup last year. If Connor and Leon want to talk about that, well, guess what? Let's get her done this year. So I don't like the going against Paul Maurice in game 7, but that is just what it is, and we'll have to make do. So we'll see where the Oilers can take it. Obviously, winning in 6 is still a possibility, but changes will be needing to be made. That's as simple as it is here for the Oilers at this point. And you kind of got several guys on the team that very well could be popping out of the lineup here for game 4, because I think the Oilers were content with going with RNH in game 3, but I don't think the lineup sticks together the way it has the last several games going into game 4. I think Jeff Skinner, definitely a guy who was slated to get action if RNH wasn't good to go. Jeff Skinner will be in the Oilers lineup. That's my personal opinion, not public fact. It'll be Jeff Skinner sliding in somewhere in the Oilers lineup for game number 4. Skinner so far 2 points in 2 playoff games played in his career, both this year with Edmonton. I think he's a guy that, again, when you kind of insert him after a long break off, you live with the liabilities. Almost every forward on this Oilers team has some defensive liabilities, so why blame Jeff Skinner for his? And you go out there and you get a little bit of job done from him. Again, Jeff Skinner, I think, as well, compared to his regular season performance as opposed to playoff performance, kind of took that Zach Hyman route and also started taking the body a lot more. So we like that from Jeff Skinner as well. So we'll see what that means for the Oilers should they insert him in the lineup as well. So obviously, you got guys like Trent Frederick, RNH banged up for sure. You're wondering how healthy everybody else is. You're using depth wingers like Kapanen and Arvidsson, who it seems like just a few minutes ago weren't playing in these playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers. So it's really going to come down here at the Oilers, just the last guys standing. It's kind of reminiscent almost, just based on the depth the Oilers have gotten from their players inserted in the lineup, but also the different number of players inserted in the lineup at this point. Just kind of reminiscent maybe of that Calgary Flames defensive run in the 04 playoffs, right, where they used 9 different defenders. I think the Oilers at this point will have used at least 8. So definitely the Oilers getting going here a little bit with the roster maneuvers up front as well. So that's kind of what I expect to change for game 4, is Jeff Skinner definitely dialed into play. That, like I said, is personal opinion, not public fact. And I think as well, there is no way you switch from the goaltending, although I will put a caveat on that. If Stu Skinner struggles out of the gate in the first period, the Oilers will not hesitate to switch up to Calvin Pickard, who finished game number 3 last night. So keep that in mind there as well. And obviously the nice part today as well, the Oilers avoided suspensions for the shenanigans there in the third period. I think Chris Knobloch put it best there, kind of just talking about it at the end of the game last night. It's just part of hockey. It's part of what happens on the ice when you're down that big in a playoff game, where, you know, if you lose by 10-1 or 6-1, it's not going to matter. You flush it and go on to the next one anyway. So the Oilers kind of taking a number there and acting on it a little bit in game 3 in the third period. And the whole game had been a joke with officiating anyway. Whether you want to say one way or another for either team, I don't care. It's just way too many penalties to be called in the playoff game to begin with, and that's why it got as out of hand as it did. So obviously, you know, the Oilers took advantage of that and just kept parading to the penalty box, because once you hit probably about 3-1 in that hockey game, Chris Knobloch would probably concur, it didn't matter. The Oilers were not playing good enough to win that hockey game once Florida scored 3, and away you went. You just, you know, started doing stupid stuff, as you typically do, right? I mean, these are professional hockey players who have all been there multiple times in their career, where the anger, the frustration and stuff boils over and you start taking action. Right, wrong, or otherwise, I don't care what you think. I quite love it. I mean, it's good the guys get it out of their system and now, you know, focus back in, hopefully, similar to last year, absolutely wallop the Florida Panthers in game number 4, and then it's series on from there. You're coming home, you know, grab that 3-2 series lead, go back to Florida with a chance to end it on their home ice. As much as I'd like to see the Cup won in Edmonton this year, winning it in Florida would be just as nice, given the fact they won it there last year and we can shove it in their face that we took it away from them in their home barn as well. So what happens in game 4 remains to be a mystery right now, but you know, it's going to be awesome to see the Oilers hopefully just come out, as Connor and Leon talked about. Connor McDavid, I think, had the line himself, the best is yet to come from the Edmonton Oilers. That was certainly the case after game 3 last year in the Cup Finals. The best is yet to come from the Edmonton Oilers here, with already a game in the win column. Oh boy, I like what's coming, let me tell you, based on prior history. So friends, I hope you're feeling at ease about the game 3 loss. Again, maybe for me not being able to watch as much of it as I would have liked playing out there on the Diamond and Crossfield last night. I will tell you, hey, we'll get back to action on Thursday, where I'll again be on the Diamond and Crossfield, but it is the commitment and the choices I made this year, so we'll see what happens. But for right now, friends, I'm up on out of here. Have yourself a great Tuesday night, Wing Wednesday up on deck tomorrow as we get the Oilers one day closer to Stanley Cup Finals 2025 Game 4. I'm up on, gone.